Have you ever noticed people who have lived in the exact same house for 10, 20, or even 30 years? Even when they have the money to afford an upgrade or the opportunity to move closer to their favorite city, they stay right where they are. It's easy to assume they're trapped by financial constraints, or that they simply don't want the hassle of packing boxes and hiring a moving truck. But that logic fails to explain why a person would choose older, familiar walls over living conditions that are objectively newer and more convenient. Psychology views this behavior as an invisible defense mechanism. The house has stopped being a building and started functioning as a protective layer for the mind. When someone spends decades in one space, their sense of self begins to live within those rooms. For them, moving to a better house feels less like a promotion and more like leaving a piece of their personal history behind. This attachment starts with the brain's baseline craving for predictability. The mind is constantly looking for ways to conserve energy by minimizing surprises in its physical environment. Researchers call this the mere exposure effect. It's a cognitive process where repeated exposure to the same stimuli makes those stimuli feel safer. Each time you walk through your front door, the mental friction required to process your surroundings drops. Over decades, every creaky floorboard and known corner becomes entirely predictable. That predictability creates a biological sense of security. Moving represents the opposite, a massive expenditure of mental energy. It requires mapping new neighbors, establishing new routines, and navigating unfamiliar surroundings all at once. From a neurological perspective, the mental tax of adapting to a new environment often outweighs the material benefits of a bigger floor plan. Staying put is the brain's way of choosing the path of least resistance. Beyond the biological need for safety, the mind also uses physical space to organize and store its long-term emotional history. This is environmental memory. Recollections tether to physical spaces, meaning a home's layout maps a person's life. A hallway might trigger a reminder of a child's first steps, a window permanently linked to a lost loved one. Because these memories are anchored to the architecture, leaving the house creates a fear that the history attached to it will be lost or erased. After 20 years, the house has transformed into a localized, living archive of the resident's emotional life. As neurological safety and emotional history merge, the resident undergoes a final psychological shift. The brain eventually stops categorizing the house as an external object. The environment and the person inhabit each other. Performing the same daily routines within these specific walls for decades physically reinforces the resident's sense of self. Their identity is built around the consistency of their surroundings. At the 20-year mark, the structure of the house and the personality of the resident have become inextricably intertwined. Asking this person to leave their home is asking them to tear away a foundational layer of who they are. The world outside the front door is defined by rapid, unpredictable change. Careers, technology, and social circles shift constantly. Inside the long-term home, that chaos disappears. The rooms offer the same consistency and reliability they did decades ago. The house serves as a symbol of control in an unpredictable world. It is the one thing that remains the same. Choosing to stay is a way to maintain existential stability. The familiar walls act as a buffer against the stress of the outside world. When someone refuses to leave a decades-old home, they are protecting their sanctuary, their memories, and the structure of their own identity.